And just like that, the good graces that Nexon cultivated so far have started to crumble. Almost everyone nowadays knows about the Volby form and about how efficient it is in order to do a bunch of things all at once. Even the developers decided to chime in and give their thoughts and what they were going to do about the farm moving forward. But now it seems like they're going back on their word, and the reason might surprise you. But before we get into the video, guys, just make sure to go ahead, scroll down the video, leave a like, make that thumbs up glow, and of course subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up on more news about the first Descendant. But we're going to keep this one short this time. Let's go ahead and dive right into the video. Most of you already know about the dev talk that happened a couple days ago, where the directors and developers were commenting on the Volby farm. The Volby farm happens in the Volgus strategic outpost, very late into the game and the map's overworld. Originally, it seemed like they were going to boost efficiency of other farms in order to meet the Volby farm, and keep the Volby farm as was. At least that's how a lot of people interpreted it when it came to the Dev Talk blog post. But if you're a part of their Discord community and actually go over to Game Notices, their section and tab on Discord of their official Discord server, a couple of hours after this Dev Talk actually went live on their official site of the first Descendant, they had community clarification regarding the director's comment. Now I'm going to read this word for word. This is the part that was in the Dev Talk and was posted earlier to this post. So we would like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the Fortress Outpost issue and to keep allowing the players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, we will update other farming locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the Fortress Outpost. Now, word for word, that sounds like, hey, they're going to be upping the other farms, that way they're as efficient as the Volby Run Outpost. Well, right under that, in that same post on Discord, they say, we are preparing 1.0.4 patch to make farming efficiency of Fortress Outposts similar to that of other popular farming sites. Now, it might sound the same, but it's actually a little different, alright? The first one indicates that, hey, we're going to be going ahead and upping the other farms so that they're as good as the Volby farm. This other one, this one with the arrow, the one that they're saying is the clarification, is saying that patch 1.0.4 will actually make the Fortress Outpost similar to that of other popular farming sites, meaning that they are in fact nerfing the Volby farm. Now, if you guys watch one of my previous The First Descendant videos, I actually touched on how this is going to be a nerf. I, as well as other people, all praise them for their actions, as something like this is usually frowned upon on the developer's side. And in the thumbnail of the video, I even hinted at the fact that because of this update, the Volby farm would be dethroned, essentially being a nerf on its own. Yes, it's not getting directly nerfed, but because other farms would then become better, it would make the Volby farm not the #1 farm anymore. Having to build Volby up in order to have the most efficient farm in one farm location makes it innately not as good as other farms where you can do the exact same farming method with a plethora, if not all, of the other Descendants. The Volby farm could be run with other characters, but it just isn't as efficient and as good unless you actually have Volby to run the Volby farm. In essence, in my mind, making it a nerf. So I was already kind of running with that narrative. But now, not only is the Volby farm going to be nerfed in that way, but also just straight up nerfed on the drops and the actual resources and levels that you'll be able to get from the Volby farm itself. The clarification actually happened last night again on their official Discord under Game Notice as the most recent update. Here, I'll read it for you verbatim. This is in terms of Dev Talk, Director's comments regarding Strategic Outpost. We apologize for the confusion caused by the misinterpretation during the translation process of the original Korean text. There have been no reversals of decisions, and our initial statement remains that we do not intend to restrict the Volby Run playstyle. However, as we mentioned, we aim to adjust the rewards efficiency at the Fortress Outpost to balance it with other regions. Once again, we apologize for any confusion in our communication. We will do our best to be as clear as possible. And below that, they have the misinterpreted line, and I'll read those verbatim as well. As is, it says, so we would like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the Fortress Outpost issue and to keep allowing the players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, we will update other farming locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the fortress outpost. And it should have been, or as they say, it should be, so we would like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the fortress outpost issue and to keep allowing the players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, we will update the Fortress Vulgus Strategic Outpost to match the efficiency of other farming locations. And as mentioned before, it kinda sounds the same, but if you're paying attention to the outline details, which they even put in bold here to emphasize, they are turning down the actual drops and efficiency that will be on the Volby farm and matching it to other farms at other locations. Just from looking at the reactions here from the actual Discord posts themselves, you'll see that the original Dev Talk post that was actually saying, hey, the Volby farm's gonna stay as is and we're gonna up everything else, has resounding results. People are calling them goats, they're emoting flames, they're doing the pray hands, everything. They're all loving what's going on here and they're praising Nexon. Once you get to the second post, the one where they're kind of trying to clarify it, but it still kind of sounds the same, people are starting to get confused. There are a couple of question marks here, but for the most part, people are understanding and they're still praising the goat emotes, the flame emotes, the salutes, the thumbs up, everything that indicates that they're doing everything correct and that we're loving the approach that they're taking with not nerfing the farm. And then finally, when you get to this misinterpreted line post, the number one emote is the shit emote, which is actually pretty funny. And along with that, the second most used emote is the angry face. A lot of people have really taken this as, wow, they are really messing this up, they're walking back on their words. I understand what the developers are talking about, that there was just confusion, there's no reversals, it's just a miscommunication. But something as big as this, one of the big penultimate farms of this patch, and what they're going to do with it being misinterpreted is actually just a big miss on their end. Now a lot of people are taking it as a reversal of their word, instead of them just coming out and saying that we are in fact going to nerf this. It did also take them a little bit of time to actually come out with their clarification, because this misinterpreted line post just came out last night, being on the 22nd, but the actual post and original clarification, which still sounded like the same thing unless you really paid attention, happened a couple hours after the dev post on the official site. Overall, I'm really interested to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think they kind of saw something, like the numbers were just too big in terms of tweaking up everything else to match the Volby farm, so they're kind of going back on it? Or do you think that they truly just misinterpreted what was going on here with the fans of the game? Personally, I do think that it might just be a misinterpretation. One thing that I just actually covered was the big patch that's coming out for the preseason on August 1st. If you want to know what's going on with that and all of its details and the release date officially being revealed, check out the link that's going to be in the description below. But in there, I also talk about there possibly being some mistranslations and misinterpretation going on with the Void Intercept boss and how many they're actually including in terms of fights, along with the ultimate weapons, because it's also thrown in as a plural in there as well. As of my knowledge, I know that there's at least going to be one ultimate weapon, but with the plural, it makes it sound like there's going to be two. So to me, it really sounds like they need to get whoever is in charge of these actual development posts that go out to the community, some sort of proofreader, that way that they can make sure that the Korean is actually being translated one-to-one in English, so fans don't get their hopes up, confused, and then demoralized and mad when it was just a mistranslation all along. Personally, I haven't used the Volby farm at all. I don't even own Volby. But if you went ahead and farmed up Volby just for this run, and especially getting the news that they're not going to take it down or scale it down in any way, shape, or form and ended up farming for her anyways, I could definitely see how this could be a huge bummer. Let alone making some of you guys outright mad, right? Overall, I do see this as the first big L for Nexon, whether intended so or not. But I'm hoping with other situations and with what's happened so far with the game and its development and them really listening to feedback so far, that maybe moving forward we'll get better interpretations of what's actually going on, and maybe stuff that's more in line with what the community wants. Hell, who knows, maybe they'll even walk back on their walk back and say, you know what, we'll just keep Volby as is, that way no one gets mad, and then you're good to go. But as for if that's gonna happen, well, your guess is as good as mine. Anyways guys, let me know what you guys think about the situation down below, and of course, if you could help me out by hitting that thumbs up and making it glow, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, and then real quick before I forget, They actually updated the dev talk on their official site as well, where they also corrected that at the same time they will be updating the Fortress Volga strategic outpost to match the efficiency of other farming locations. That way anyone looking at that original post is also not confused at what's going on as well. And as for everyone who was yelling clickbait in the comment section on that particular video about the Volby form, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Just take the L. Sure, I wasn't 100% right on my reasoning, but hey, I was right nonetheless. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you guys next time. Peace!